My once quiet apartment is now unlivable with the sounds and unbelievable weird vibes. So I think I might need help. I've lived in my apartment for about 4 months now. For the first 2 months, nothing unusual. Then I got a new roommate that, for the most part, is perfectly fine. She decorated the shit out of the place, but besides that, she's okay. So out of nowhere, a couple months ago, I started noticing sounds. Footsteps. Sometimes I would hear a voice that sounded like my BF, or he would hear me call him when I definitely didn't, or lights turning off and on their own. Now the activity is centralized around my closet. Like I'll be sitting on my bed in the apartment alone, and all of a sudden it sounds like someone is on the closet or on the outside pounding on the door. It's so loud and scares the shit out of me. Like right now I'm not even in my room because it terrified me. Anyways, the other day my BF was here and he downloaded an SL camera, calibrated it, then looked at the closet and saw a smaller human shape sitting on the floor by the closet. Right at the time I yelled at him to stop. He saw the shape lift up his arm and pound on the closet door. Right at the same time I heard the noise from across the room. We both ran out of there because obviously I'm scared, and so is he at this point. Other things I've noticed is my depression seems to get worse whenever the noise seems to happen a lot. Honestly, I don't know what this could be from a practical standpoint. I don't know if sage would help or if ignoring it would be better. I know it's really getting to me and I don't know why it's mainly in my room or around me for the most part. Like I said, before I started living with this new girl, or dating him for that matter, there was nothing going on here. No activity whatsoever. Now it's crazy. Please help me. What can I do to get rid of it? I think I messed up and summoned a paranormal being. So last week I was on a video call with my girlfriend. We were talking about ghosts, and I stupidly said out loud, "I'm not scared of ghosts. Come on, ghosts, come get me. I'll fuck you up." For a little background, I live with my mom and sister, and I've never experienced anything paranormal in this house. Here are the events that followed. Saturday night, about 2-3 days after I said what I did, my sister and her friend run downstairs because they heard my mum scream, "Daniel!" in what they call a terrifying scream. I did not know about this until later on. Early Monday morning, I wake up and the screws that hold the lock on my bedroom door are loose. Someone must have tried to force my door open for this to happen, and this must have happened while I was sleeping. My family members say they didn't even try to open my door. Paranormal isn't even on my mind yet. Monday evening, my sister and her boyfriend are in their room, and I hear my sister faintly calling my name from her room. She called it twice, and then nothing. I shouted back and nothing. I thought nothing of it, until a few hours later, my mum asked why my sister was calling my name, as my mum already asked her, and my sister denies calling my name. And here we are now. This connects everything to something really bad, and I'm extremely freaked out. How am I meant to sleep tonight? Is this an evil being? My daughter can see ghosts, I think, and I'm kinda creeped out. For context, my husband has a younger brother who passed away July 2020 in a car accident. It was very tragic, and 2 out of the 4 teenagers passed away. He was only 18 and had graduated a month prior. The other morning, my 17-month-old woke up and started looking out our bedroom door into the upstairs living room. She kept waving and saying hi. No one else is home but us, and her 3-month-old brother, who is also in bed with us. My husband has been gone a few hours at this point. She keeps doing it, but also is saying Dada now, and pointing at her brother. I asked her, "Are you saying hi to Daddy?" Shakes her head. "No. Are you saying hi to brother?" Shakes her head no again. I asked her a few more times, and she just keeps saying Dada and pointing at her little brother. So I asked, "Are you saying hi to Daddy's brother, Uncle so-and-so?" Immediately, she smiles super big, gets excited, and goes, "Yeah." Safe to say, I think my little BIL is just hanging around our house. Side note, it was the morning of his mom's birthday, and we also have a picture of him in our living room she waves at and stares at a lot. Have you ever walked into something invisible? Okay, I know how this sounds, but this is a serious question. About 15 years ago, I was getting ready for bed, turning off all of the lights one by one. The light in my bedroom was on, so I was turning off all other lights and going to my room. I picked up my cat like a baby and turned off the last light in the living room. It was a straight shot to my bedroom with nothing obstructing the way. As I was passing my couch, with my cat in my arms, I bounced off of something that wasn't there. Like literally. Imagine someone walking directly into a wall, but the wall is invisible. Even stranger, the moment I collided with whatever it was, I got a rushing wave of heat all through my body, starting from my toes to my head, and then immediately an ice-cold chill from the top of my head all the way down to my toes. My cat reacted with a long, stressed-sounding meow, indicating he sensed something was off too. I have never had this happen again since. I was just wondering if anyone else out there ever had something similar happen. It scared me so much that I slept with the lights on for the better part of 2 weeks. To those who doubt it, no hard feelings. I don't think I would believe it either, until of course it happened to me. I was sober, not especially sleepy, but it was 9:10 p.m. and I had to work the next day. It was just a typical day. In the moment this happened, I did not want to investigate more than just turning on the lights. I was alone and it was deeply unsettling and made no sense, so my only instinct was to back away. I moved some furniture aside and walked around the space towards my room. Had a very unnerving and haunting experience at my work last night. I was just recently hired at my local Dick's Sporting Goods to fill the front-end cashier position for this summer. For about roughly 2 weeks, I've had nothing unusual or paranormal occur to me while there until now. Every night that we close the store, 9 p.m., my department has to clean up registers and take the hanger box along with the garbage bags all the way to the enormous stockroom tucked away in the back right of the building. We had barely anyone working that night in the whole store, and my other associate who worked with me up front was busy helping out in other departments for closing. Due to this, I was the only one who would be closing up registers and bringing the hanger box and trash bags to the back of the stockroom near the loading dock. Prior to coming in the back, I've only really seen it maybe once or twice before in the daytime, and it looked normal to me. However, at night, it was a whole different story once I was on my first closing shift. I passed through the double doors, and to the right sat a very long aisle that was partially pitch black, only illuminated from a small light next to some creepy-ass desk all the way down. The rows of products and items seems to go on forever, accompanied by this one area, with mannequins seeming to stare at you. I got literal chills go down my spine looking down that right side, so immediately I swung a left, where the trash bags and hanger box were supposed to be placed next to the loading dock. I first dumped the trash bags in the disposal bin and was trying to find the packing tape to tape up the hanger box but couldn't find it. Looking for about 5 minutes in my area turned up no results, so I knew the obvious answer was to head all the way down to the unsettling part of the stockroom and find one. I slowly started moving myself down the narrow aisle when I suddenly felt like something was off. My tongue was in my throat when I could have sworn I saw 2 small, penny-like glowing eyes starting at me from down the aisle. I immediately turned around back to the loading dock area, thinking it was my mind screwing with me. As I did this, I heard the most clear sound of what sounded like packaging tape being stretched from like 15 feet in front of me. I knew for a fact I was the only one back there, so I bolted the hell out of the stockroom to notify my manager. Upon telling her, seemed very disturbed and straight up told me how this Dick's was known among the more veteran employees who have been working there for a while, that there was some unexplained supernatural activity. Allegedly, it was constructed on top of an old supermarket that used to be in its place, where a little girl died in a long time ago. She even went on to tell me a story one of the golf leads had maybe 3 years ago. He was working alone in the back and heard a little girl giggling while at the same time a ball from one of the top racks came bouncing down, landing right by his feet. Being an Eastern Orthodox Christian, I do have the belief that evil spirits exist among us, and I was very certain I just had an encounter with one. We think there's a ghost in my friend's house, and for some reason, it went evil. So a friend of mine, and colleague of my girlfriend, was talking about how he thinks there's a ghost in his house. He didn't believe it at first, but things are getting weirder and weirder. He lives in a 1 to 2 person apartment, and it's as big as a large living room. He has a bedroom, bathroom, living room, and a small kitchen. Every now and then there's things falling over like photos, empty bottles, the window slamming shut, things you could blame the wind. But he also has had the ironing board folded when he came home, but it wasn't folded when he went away. Now here's the creepy part. He has nightmares every night about being lifted out of his bed, being dragged across the ceiling until he's dead. He had a one-night stand a few months ago, and the girl went home at 5 a.m. because she felt so uneasy and scared all of a sudden, and she didn't know why she felt that way, but she had to get out. The girl he's dating now also a friend of mine, has the exact same nightmares as him when she sleeps at his place. Doesn't stop her from going there because they both aren't scared easily, but still. He said that the things falling over thing was always happening a bit. But the nightmares are kinda new, since he thinks a month now. So we think there always was a ghost there, but for some reason they think it went evil or something. What to do?